Mr. U's Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now this Spider-Man film is animated, which we haven't seen before theatrically, so it kind of put a new spin on this superhero. And I'm happy to report that this is one of my favorite Spider-Man films so far. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is mainly about Miles Morales' Spider-Man. And when Kingpin, the villain of this film, uses a weapon to collide all the different dimensions together, Miles Morales meets all the different spider people from the different dimensions. And this includes Peter Parker's Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Penny Parker, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Ham, which was really funny. One thing I really enjoyed about this film was the voice acting. All around the board there was some great actors, such as Shameik Moore as Miles Morales, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, which was really cool because this Peter Parker was more of an older Peter Parker, and it's not like the ones, like the teenager we were used to in the films. There was also Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy / Spider-Gwen, and Nicolas Cage, which was really cool to hear, as Spider-Man Noir. The animation style for this film I thought was really cool. It looked like a comic book, so it kind of brought the viewer into like a comic book film feeling. So that was really great. A highlight of this film was its soundtrack. They used kind of like rap songs and R&B songs. You know, it gave the film more of a modern touch to it, and I don't know, I liked it. I think it fit the film really well. Also, when they show Times Square, if you look at the signs on the buildings, you can see some Easter eggs from like our dimension and their dimension, but it's slightly different. Like an example was, they showed a picture of The Weeknd like far in the distance in like a building in Times Square, but they used his real name instead of The Weeknd. So I guess in that dimension, he never became The Weeknd. He just used his real name. That was something I just noticed and I really liked. One of the flaws in the film, in my opinion, was with the villain Kingpin. Although they do give him a backstory, I wish they fleshed him out a little bit more so we could really want the heroes to defeat this villain. But either way, I liked the design they used for him. He was really big, like kind of like in the comics. He took up most of the screen, which was, I don't know, it was just like the comics, which was delightful to see. And he was an enjoyable villain, and you did root for the heroes to defeat him, but I just wish there was a little bit more of something for the viewer to grasp onto with that character. Another flaw with this film was that it can get a little confusing with all the different dimensions. I'm not going to spoil anything, but sometimes you may see two of the exact same spider person, and sometimes the viewer is left wondering, like, did this spider person come from this first dimension or this second or third dimension? The idea of the dimensions is really cool, but I just thought it got a little confusing. One more thing I'd like to talk about is the post-credit scene. I really enjoyed this post-credit scene. It had a nice, you know, it ended out the film with a great laugh. It's nothing too important, so if you don't have too much time, I wouldn't worry about it, but I really enjoyed it. Overall, I really enjoyed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There was some great voice acting, some cool characters, a nice animation style, and I really liked the soundtrack, as I've said before. I think it fits the film really well. I only had those two flaws, which I wish the filmmakers improved a little bit more. And that's why I give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse an A-. I recommend this film, and if they're really planning on making a sequel, I'm up for it. I would love to see a sequel. And as always, don't forget your popcorn. Until the next time, from Mr. U to you. Stay tuned.